friends, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing an unboxing and creation of 17 cards using this card kit. It's number 15 from the Crafter's Companion card kits. It comes with some dies and a lot of buttons. That's the main part of the kit. 2 stamp sets where you can really focus your use of the buttons. These stamp sets have openings where you can then glue buttons into those spaces. It also includes some card blanks, some pattern paper, and then some blank paper to go with it. I didn't actually use any of the blank paper, or if I did, I used a real small amount. I included this in here because I found it really fascinating. Just doing all my buttons, sorting them out. I first sorted them into color and then I sorted them into size and just put them in my little storage containers that I used for all my little bling and stuff that I put on cards sometimes, which I found really helpful. See, it's on that left there. I found it really helpful to have that in there. So I'm taking this first stamp, which is a lion, and I'm stamping it onto a circle die cut. I'm not going to share every single die that I used. All of them are simple circles or squares. Some of them have the stitched edge, and some of them have the deckled edge. But from any company that you use, it's real simple. You don't need to know the exact brand, the exact size. It's fine. Use whatever you've got. So I decided to add a little bit of shading to this lion to make it kind of stand out from the background, because I wanted it to be part of the background but also stand apart from it. So I took some Polychromos pencils, just 2 colors, the yellow for the mane and the orange for the body, and I'm just adding that in. Then I'm using my Copic marker, and it's a blank Copic marker. There was no ink in it, and I'd filled it a while ago with some odorless mineral spirits, and I just colored out. I saw this tip on Jennifer McGuire's blog or YouTube channel, but she used a Ranger alcohol ink pen, which can hold a lot more of that in there, but I couldn't find one. I was going on a cruise and I really wanted to have this, and I could get the marker, this blank marker, on Amazon really quickly, or I could wait weeks for that one and I would miss my cruise with it. So I got this one and filled it up, and it works perfectly. Then I put that bottom shading on, which is just ovals. You want the ovals wider across, so horizontally, and shorter vertically, and then I blended that out as well. Next, I glued on that little button. I know we're a little bit behind, but I glued on that little button and putting that to the side to dry. Next, I'm gluing these background pieces. I decided I personally really like the kind of 1-layer look. The thinner, I like to add dimension, but I also like to be kind of sparing with that. So I die cut the inside square of that kind of salmon colored cardstock out and added the real patterny cardstock. Now I've glued that other circle onto a green circle with deckled edge and popped that out. I didn't actually add a sentiment to this. Oh, I'm adding the inside square into the inside of the card. Cassie Trask, I believe that's her name, and I think that's her YouTube channel as well, does this where she does stuff to the inside of her card, and I really like that, so I've been trying to do that. You'll see that more at the end of the video, but in all my cards, I did something on the inside. I decided that the vase should be cool, so I stamped the vase on that multicolored paper, and then I'm stamping the whole thing on this green paper, and that's going to be the backing, where I'm going to cut with my scissors that vase out, glue it down on top of this vase, and I'm going to glue the buttons to this green backing piece. But before I do that, I thought it'd be easier to cut it out first and then glue everything together. So that's what I'm doing here. I put all those little buttons where I wanted them to go, and then I pulled them in a little bit so that when I cut it out, there'll be just a little bit less of that green paper than there is of the buttons so that it won't poke through. Then I used my pencil and drew around where the foliage was just so I'd get a little bit of an edge there as well. Next, I'm just fussy cutting that out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think I could have scanned that into my Scan and Cut DX and cut multiples of those, and I could have made this card a bunch of times really quickly. So if you have something like that, definitely go ahead and use it. Next, I decided to add into those little detailing some blue, some dark blue, as well as some magenta. If I did this again, I would just use gray and black because there's so much color on that vase already. So I wouldn't use as much color. But I still like it. I thought it was cute. I didn't redo the vase. But if I did it again, that was just my thought. I decided to go in and color some of the foliage just to make it pop out as well. I think I also lined those lines with green, but I could be wrong. Next, we're moving on to this background. I just die cut an oval piece out of the rectangular piece, and I did that for two different card stocks. I did the really pretty greenery background and this yellow cross hatching, both really pretty. I love how these boxes have such fun, thematic, everything goes together, I guess. I really like that. I appreciate that. It's nice. I wasn't sure about these cards at the beginning. My mom absolutely loved them. I'd done about 5 or 6 and she saw them and she was like, "Oh my gosh, those are so cute." So I kept going. I'll probably give her some of these just so that she can give them out. She's always looking for cards to give out. So, here, I wanted to share. I stamped this stamp down and I colored it all black. I scanned that into my Scan and Cut DX, and then I die cut a bunch of those. And I die cut it slightly bigger, so I gave it a little bit of an edge. And now I'm going back with that paper. I fit it in to this little We Are Memory Keepers stamp positioning tool. I have a little bit of sticky paper. That grid paper is sticky. And I fitted it in, and now I'm stamping. I stamped with the lighter ink over the whole thing and then a little bit darker on the edges. And I think I stamped 8 or 9 of these and just popped them out because they were so cute. And I made such cute cards with that. Easily a really great idea. I definitely have been enjoying my Scan and Cut DX. I went ahead and sold my maker, my Cricut Maker, as well as my Scan and Cut 2. I think it was the second version of the Scan and Cut. But I hate trying to figure out the blade depth. I didn't like that. So I love the Scan and Cut because you can scan things in and cut it out. I mean, that's the name and that's what it does. But I hated having to figure out the depth of that blade and dealing with it. They came out with the Scan and Cut DX and I was like, I need this. But I absolutely could not fathom having 3 machines. And so I went ahead and just sold both of those. Had enough money from the proceeds to go ahead and buy that Scan and Cut DX. So I am a big fan of it. I love being able to do things like that. So now here I'm just gluing these cards down really simply. I love square cards. So this one's really easy. I used some of that yellow cross-hatching paper. I glued the flowers to these little green squares, which I thought would have looked so cute on a blue paper, but this didn't come with any blue paper, and I was really just trying to use what was in the box to show you that you really don't need a whole ton of supplies to go with these. Other than the basic dies that I'm using, I don't think I really used anything. The dies and the ink are really the only things that came outside of this pack. I mean glue and scissors and stuff, but stuff you really, that's like basic necessity kind of stuff. I'm not a huge die cutter because I find it difficult to die cut, which is why I use the Gemini machine, just so it's quick and easy and I don't have to hand crank it. But I do really like the look of die cutting, so I definitely suggest investing in some basic dies. I just got some alphabet dies that I'm really excited to use. I've been holding off on getting some, but Scrapbook.com has 3 sets of really cute, really affordable alphabet dies now, and it's the Scrapbook.com brand. So I definitely say check those out. I got 2 of them. I got the really skinny one, and then it reminded me of Sesame Street kind of one. I don't know, really block lettery ones. Then I also got 2 sets from Pink Fresh Studios, which were much more expensive, but they were really pretty, very flowy, and they have the edge around them. So you have the inside bigger block letter and then the outside frame for each letter, and it was really cool. So I got both the small, the lowercase and the uppercase letters. So you'll see those soon. But I think getting basic dies is definitely worth it. Anyway, back to the video. Not been talking about it at all. I don't do this a lot. I'm hoping to do more of it because I've re-enlisted in the monthly card. What is this called? Oh my gosh, I'm having a total brain fart. Whoo, Lisa. I'm recording this on a Friday night, so it's been like a long week. Anyway, the subscription box from Crafter's Companion. I re-upped my subscription, and I like it a lot. Sometimes I get bored doing the same cards over and over again, but I'm excited. I thought these turned out so cute, and those stamps will last forever. It did come with 3 or 4 dies. I didn't end up actually using them. I used dies I already had, but you could definitely use them. You'll also note I didn't put a sentiment on every single card. Sometimes I like putting sentiments on. Sometimes I also feel like it's a little bit limiting because things happen and you need a specific type of card and you don't have it. You have like a zillion thank yous and you really need a happy birthday, but half of those cards could have been happy birthday anyway if you had a happy birthday sentiment on it, you know? So sometimes I like just leaving it without the sentiment so that then when I need a card, I can come back and grab that. So anyway, coloring in this little stamp set, or this little stamp of a bicycle. It was so cute. I'll come back to that. I'm showing this in chronological order. You can see that I really jump around sometimes, especially when making this many cards. I went ahead and made these super cute sheep. They were my absolute favorite. I'm assuming I've already passed that and I was just chit-chatting away about something else, but the sheep were my favorite. They were so cute. I stamped it down. I colored around the edge and scanned that into my Scan and Cut. I had the stickiness already on the back of the paper. I used the paper I put through the Xyron machine. I keep all those scraps because I used this like out of an 1.5 by 3-inch scrap, and I made 3 of them. That die cut it out, and I glued those little white things to it. This is a new thing. I don't think I've posted the video for it, but I did this a couple weeks ago on another set of cards where I die cut out a deckled edge and used a marker to edge around that. I used a metallic marker and then put that back in. Just kind of puzzle pieced it back in. So it's flat. There's no dimension. It's the same piece of cardstock, but it has that deckled edge that's highlighted by that metallic marker. And I thought it's so cute. So cute. A great accent. So definitely, if you're stuck and you need a hint, that has been really helpful for me. Next, I'm going back to this really big size card. So it's a 5 by 7, and I've made a couple of those in this video. And for all these cards, I am winging it hard. I think I've said this before. The putting cards together in a nice format is one of the things I struggle with. I felt like I actually did pretty well in these videos, in this video. Oh, here I'm doing the same thing we've talked about 2 or 3 times before. Use my Scan and Cut DX, scan that in, die cut it out a bunch, and then I'm going to stamp it. You won't see all of these because my mom used one. She made a card for her neighbor, and so she used one. She loved these these stamp sets with the little buttons. It was so cute. I love her so much. She's such a sweetheart. So anyway, I'm stamping these down. I find it easiest to electronically die cut it out first, especially in cases like this where I'm using a really light ink. Apparently I need to re-ink this ink pad. I need to get the re-inkers for the oxide inks because they just don't last as long as the original inks, which is fine. I just need to get the actual ink pad for them. So here I am just gluing them buttons on. You will see here I lined up all the buttons at the same vertical degree. I think that looks nice when they all just kind of match, or if they're all random. I think it also looks really nice when they're not at a straight up and down or a straight horizontal, because it's hard to get them straight either way. And so having them slightly tipped is a cheater way to make it look nice. Anyway, so here is so cute. This is one of the few other places I used a stamp set outside of the stamp sets included. I have this thank you stamp set I recently got from Crafter's Companion, and I like it because you can blend a lot of different, it comes with a bunch of thanks and a bunch of views, and they're all in different fonts and sizes, so you can kind of make your own thank you, and I think it looks really cute. Next, I'm taking these little sheepies and putting them on this background. Oh my gosh, this is such a simple card, and I love it so much. I already have it hanging up. I don't know if you've seen it, but in the back of my craft room, I have 2 ledges, and so I put all my I put artwork and stuff up there. I have them also upstairs in my living room and the dining room because I love being able to switch out my artwork for the season. And it's one of the things when I rebuilt my house was I really wanted that, and so I paid the money for it, and it's totally worth it. Now I'm like, I wish I had more. But I already have that one up because I love it so much. And don't ask me why. I don't know. I love sheepies and I love green, and so it pushed all my buttons. So I doubt I'll ever send that out. So here we go. Here I am starting to add some inside pieces, and I'm going to speed through this. I don't think I show everyone making them, but I do show them all the outsides and all the insides here in a little bit. But I just kind of picked out some extra pieces of paper. I have so much left of this kit. I made 17 cards and barely made a dent in this kit. So I was like, oh my gosh, I could keep going, but I'm ready to do something else. So I stopped, and I'm just going to have to put all that stuff in my stash now, and I'll use it some other time. So here I'm just adding some paper on the inside of the cards. You can easily write over that, no problem at all. Here I am doing the outside of a card. You'll see I only do this top right half of the card, diagonal half, because I had this whole extra piece of paper that I die cut off of. This is waste paper that I could have just thrown away, but I thought looked really pretty. I loved this green dotted paper. Don't ask me why. I love green. Something about it just spoke to me, and so I used that corner, and it worked out perfectly. I end up actually using those two edges of the paper that I'm going to take off here in a minute. So I stamped in green ink those background pieces to add some interest, and I decided I could go ahead and add some little flowers to them. I didn't add them to every single one, I just the ones with the ends that were in, and I switched off between pink and orange. And then I decided to go with Thinking of You for the outside of that. On this one, I smudge a bunch of the green leaves. I didn't let it dry. I was impatient. I should have just let it dry, and I didn't. Because I really loved how it turned out on that last card with those little flowers, and so that was my goal, and then I ruined it. So I'm hiding those smudges with these little green pieces, and it turned out really cute. I went ahead, added this strip across. It's a really simple card. I went ahead and added that thank you. The thank you wasn't thick enough to really show up, so I go back with the Sharpie pen and just draw over it. It still looks really nice, and it's a little bit more visible. I felt like I needed to use some buttons on this one because I didn't have buttons anywhere else, so I used buttons like little brackets to hold that, to like make it look like it was holding that little piece of paper down. So then I decided to use some more of this light green paper and try again, and I did not smudge this one, so that was good. I just went with something simple and did an up and down line. You will see that I do try and stamp over the edge of the papers because that makes it look like a continuous design. So on this one, I am doing something similar. I wanted to make it look kind of like floating lilies, and then I also use these to make some cherries. And I'm just using scraps of paper. I am a little bit of a penny pincher. I get that from my dad. And so I just have a hard time throwing away just about any little scrap of paper. It has to be tiny, tiny for me to keep it, which is ridiculous, but that's the way I am. Now, I'm going back to make these elephant cards. So I'm adding yellow for the sky, and then the bottom I'm using some more of this green pattern paper. I added just a little bit of that dark green to the edge to make it stand out between that and the sun. glued those little elephants down. So cute. And then I decided to add a little cloud to the sky with some more buttons. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's not usually like my design aesthetic, but these buttons were so cute. It really turned out great. Just adding some buttons there on the top. I need to figure out a good way to get more buttons. Then I decided to go with a really small best wishes down in the corner, since so much of that card was just really big that I thought the smaller sentiment would be nice. Next, I am making another 5x7, just adding down some paper and then adding a little to the edge there. Just gonna glue that little piece down in the center. For being such a big card, I have such a small focal point. I still think it turned out cute though. I love card making. I don't know that I'm super great at it, but I love doing it anyway. Then I'm adding a little hello to the bottom corner. Here you can see I'm adding some decoration to the inside. Really simple, really easy. Just a little something. Just a little something, something. Then I am doing this cherry one. And I thought the cherry one would look so cute with this red and red polka dot paper. Pink and red polka dot paper. I had this tiny little bit of the multicolored paper left over. So I said, you know what? Let's do this. And I put it in the center and it looked really cute. I don't know. Sometimes things just work out, and it just worked out. So adding a little bit of shading around the edge of that green paper just kind of pulls your eye to the center. So that one's done. Moving on to another one. This one's very similar. And this is where I was telling you I thought it would look like lilies floating on water. If I could do this card again, I would have had one of those stamps going off to the left, off the page to the left, because you see here I glued those buttons over the edge because I thought that looked cool. It looked like they were floating out, but then it looked unbalanced because there wasn't one on the left edge. So I added a few small ones. So here we are going through all the cards I made and all the insides. Oh, they're so cute. Look at those little birds. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Ugh. And if I didn't capture everything on this video, I apologize. I really tried, but I had a couple hours worth of footage and I knocked it down to 30 minutes. So I might have missed one or two things, and I'm sure I missed talking about everything. So I apologize if there's something that I missed. But I just had so much fun creating these, and I did not use a ton of stuff outside of what was in the card kit. So that was really fun. Oh, it was just such a fun card kit. I need to get some more buttons is basically where I'm at. So if you have any ideas about a good place to get some buttons, let me know. Oh, look at that. It's my favorite. Oh, so cute. Oh, I just love it. Oh, that's where I think I could put a sentiment if I were ever to give this away. And the elephants. Oh, I think that's such a cute card and be perfect for like a baby shower card. Adorable. Here we are at the square cards. I just love square cards. I don't know. It's that nice even dimension all around. It just does something for me. See here, I've taken pictures of everything. I have adjusted some of the lighting on this just to make you see how vibrant the colors were, because they were really vibrant, and I didn't think sometimes my camera doesn't capture that as well. So I hope you enjoyed maybe got some ideas. I am not a card making genius, but I do love doing it and have so much fun. Here are some other videos you might be interested in. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing, wonderful day. Bye, guys.